Students, now we are discussing about manufacturing process. Unit number 5. Topic is processing of thermoplastic. There are so many forms of raw material for processing of plastic into final product. Commonly used form are billet, sheet, powder, rod, tube, etc. Generally, liquid plastic are used in the fabrication of reinforced plastic part. Thermoplastics can be processed to their final size and shape with the help of following process like injection molding, plunger and screw type, blow molding, thermoforming, extrusion, rotational molding. These are the main forming process in the thermoplastic component. Like injection molding, the injection molding is used to achieve the high speed molding of thermoplastic. The working principle of this process that molten thermoplastic is injected into the mold under the high pressure. For achieving high pressure, the plunger system is used. The operation, like the molding material is loaded into the hopper, from which it is transferred to the heating section by the feeding device, where the temperature is to 150 degrees centigrade to 370 degrees centigrade. The material melt and it forced by the injector, a ram or by plunger through the nozzle and the sphere in cooled closed mold which form the part. There are two types of injection molding and it is given below like that. One is the plunger type injection molding and the next one is the screw type injection molding. This is shown in the plunger type injection molding. The hooper will be applied in terms of powder or one, then it will be moved to the heat section. The heating section, the powder or billet type of plastic will be heated and it will be converted to liquid form. After that, the ram will be moved forwardly and the liquid type of plastics are injected to the mold cavity and fill it. And this is a screw type one. For advantage of injection molding, like high production capacity and less material loss are possible. The cost is low and it need less finishing operation. It is used for making complex thread and thin walled part. The accuracy become 0.25 mm it will be attained. The wide range of shape can be molded. The main applications it is used to making a part of complex threaded create shape such as the thin walled part can be produced. The typical parts such as cup, container, tool handles, toys handles, toys, knobs, plumbing fitting can be produced with the help of this one. And the blow molding next processing, it is a molding process in which air pressure is used to inflate soft plastic into the mold cavity and it is used to make a hollow seamless part with a thin wall like bottles, containers, etc. The fabrication of starting tube of molten plastic, which is called as Parisian, and floating of the tube into required final shape. The forming of Parisian is cured out either by extrusion or by injection molding according to the forming portion of the molding one. Next one, the extrusion blow molding and injection blow molding. Like extrusion blow molding shown in the figure, first one is the tube will be making. After that, the die will be closed and bottom of one blow pin. The blow pin is supporting to hot air intake the one and the tube will be formed to our required die shape in the tube. Like injection molding process, it is also to make first of all injection tube and it will be blowing rod will be apply the air and the air will be blow to the tube into the required shape of mold. The thermoforming, it is a series of process for forming thermoplastic sheet or film over a mold within the application of heat and pressure. It is used to packing of consumer product and to fabricate large part like internal door liners. It consists of two main steps, heating and forming. The heating is carried out by radiation electric heater and located on one or both side of the starting plastic sheet. The time of heating depends upon the type of polymer, it is thickness and color itself. And the method of by which forming the carried out for vacuum forming and pressure forming. In vacuum forming, it will be founded to the our vacuum hole in the die surface. That die surface vacuum hole will be vacuumed with the help of pump, and top of the mold cavity will be the sheet metal will be clamped rigidly, and after that the radiant heat will be applied the heat continuously, so the plastic will be uh, converted to the elastic limit itself. The vacuum will be applied to the negative pressure, and the sheet metal will be stitched to the die cavity. And pressure forming, the pressure will be applied, the positive pressure will be applied on the sheet metal, so the sheet metal will be stitched to the die surface. Next one, the extrusion process. The extrusion process is a continuous process in which the hot plasticized material is forced through the die opening of required shape. The raw material in the form of thermoplastic billet or powder is fed through the hooper into the heating cylinder or extruder. The extruder is equipped with a screw heat blunt and conveys the material into the heat die. The internal friction due to the mechanical action of the screw along with the heater around the extruder heats the material and liquid surface next. So the diagram will be shown in the figure. The screw have three different sections which are the following: the feed section which convey the material from hooper into the central region of extruder, the transition of molting section where the heat generated from the shearing of plastic cases melting to be being, the plumbing section where additional melting and shearing occurs. In the heating chamber, the material becomes a thick viscous mass through the force through die. When it leaves the die, it is cooled by air or water or by contact of chilled surface and fully hardens. To minimize the product shearing and distortion, control of the rate and uniformly of cooling are important factor. The extruded component then coiled or cut into the required longer. The application of extrusion. The extrusion molding process is used for producing solid rod, pipe or tube of U or J Y other section itself. Also used for extrusion of can sharing, drinking straw, plumbing pipe, door installation seals, optical fibers, windows frame sheet strips, electrical applications. The extrusion of film. The thermoplastic films are produced by a number of processes. One of them important process is extrusion. The film refer the thickness below 0.5 mm and they are used for packaging application like product wrapping material. The grab bags will be produced. A widely used method of making thin polyethylene film for packing in the film blowing. The process starts with the extrusion of a tube which is implicated drawn upward in molten condition and simultaneously expanded in size by blowing air into the through the die mandrel. The air pressure is in the bubbles must be kept constant to maintain the uniform thickness and tube diameter. The guide rollers and collapsing roller are used to sustain the blow tube and direct into the punching rod. Like shown in the figure will be formed the thin filming one. And next one, the rotational molding. The rotational molding process is used to make within thin walled hollow part. In this method, the measured quantity of polymer powder is placed into thin walled metal mold. The mold is cooled and it is rotated about two mutually perpendicular axes as it is heated. This rotational will paste the powder to strain against the mold wall. After heating the strainering, the mold is cooled. It is still rotating. The cooling of mold is done by using water and air. Then the rotation is stopped when the molded component is removed. Like shown in the figure for rotational molding figures. In this rotational molding, thin walled metal mold is made of two pieces and is rotated in perpendicular axis. The measured quantity of powder plastic material is placed inside the mold. Then the mold is heated and rotated. This action tumble of powder against the mold, therefore the heating focuses the powder without melting it. Most thermoplastics and thermostatic can be formed into large hollow parts by rotational molding. In some part, chemically agent are added to the powder or cross-linked after the part is formed in the mold by continuously heating. Bonding of thermoplastic. The bonding of thermoplastic is performed by the application of heat and pressure. A laminated plastic consists of sheet or paper, fabric, wood, cellulose or other similar material that are coated with resin. The lamination process is based on the principle of layer of sheet like metals, foil, paper, etc. The starting within the top sheet and properly adjust the laser each sheet one at a time in a particular form. The sheet thickness varies from 0.05 mm to 0.12 mm. The high pressure lamination. In this method, the layer of fibers reinforcing material are joined with thermostatic resin binder by the application of heat and pressure. The pressure generally range from 8 megapascal to 24 megapascal and the temperature is about 150 degrees centigrade. It consists of preparing various solution from resin by dissolving them in the suitable solvent, following coating fibers sheet within the variant. So, shown in the figure like the coating one. And low pressure lamination. In this process, the pressure up to 8 megapascal are applied. Generally, thermostatic resin are used in laminating. The reinforced material used are glass fiber, cotton, nylon, paper, and other fibers. Commonly used the resin are phenolenic, polyester, epoxy, and silicones. To obtain the different color shade, pigment are added for obtaining better surface finish and better physical property. Fiber like clay, calcium, and carbonate added. The advantage of laminations: it is a simple method. Cost of process is low. There is no restriction of size. The process is flexible. Minimum application of laminating plastic. The laminated plastic are used in electrical and electronics component. Heavy cloth laminated are used for gear blank, cams, and other industrial purpose. Thank you.